Hey guys, it's Cloudman here. Brand new YouTube channel, starting super fresh. I think it's important for me to document the AWS Solutions Architect certificate just because a lot of people have been posting. I know a new certificate came out, and I think it's important that at least one of the videos on YouTube tell you at least a little bit more up to date on what the certificate entails and some of the sources that I used to get me through the exam along the white papers and some of the certificates. So just to begin with, I'm a network engineer. Let me put my glasses on, maybe more get more credentials. So now you'll actually listen to me, and my words will matter. First of all, I'm a network engineer. I am slash sysadmin. I do a lot of backup jobs, anything that has to do with servers, firewalls, switches, literally anything, and any other task that any kind of user fails at doing themselves, or how they fail at following simple documentation that we have sent them. Of course, not the user's fault. Maybe it's my documentation's fault. But I digress. Let's dive into what I did for the AWS Solutions Architect. Here, one of the first things you do, right? You go to the site. You pick the certificate that you actually are interested in. In this case, would be the Solutions Architect. I think it's a very important certificate, especially if you are trying to become a cloud support engineer or do anything with the cloud, or if your company is kind of pushing or edging you on to try to go to the cloud or have any kind of service in the cloud. Very likely your company already does in some capacity or another, or you or your coworkers have already tried to play with it. Initially, this is the first certificate that you should go for, just because it has a very good basis of all the AWS services that they have, and it's very important to really provide a solution and think of ways to create what you have currently on premise, on site, in the cloud, and this will help your organization as well as yourself to try to see how AWS can help you, and if it's the proper solution for you. And of course, AWS will tell you that cloud is cheaper, etc., and it will drive that to a certain extent. But then again, it will have to do with the budgeting of your company, etc. So, anyways, it's a very good certificate to start with, and the things that I used to pass it, I got an 85. Oh, well, I say 85, but 847. That's what I got. I rounded up just because that's what I like to do. And the main thing here, as soon as I began, I went to this main site, read over what the recommended knowledge and experience was, downloaded the exam guide and the sample questions. So if you go to the exam guide, quickly I'll just go over this. That's not important. So this is the big chunk, and make sure you're getting the CO2 right. Look over these. Just as a reference point. These are fairly broad, I would say, but every service will fall in one of these, and questions will be related to all the services. And this is a pretty high level kind of questions, or at least guides that you'll get on the exam. All right. So this is very important. Just go through the to the 4 different domains and look what you're having weakness on, especially when you take different exams, like I'll show you. One of the sources that I used was certified here. Okay. So this is the Udemy. Let me go back here so I can show you exactly where I went. So it's not Stefan. It is. Let me go to my courses. It's one of the questions. Let me go to my. Oh, it was the first one. So solutions architect, right? this is an amazing course. I would definitely take these practice exams, and because the wording and the amount of detail that goes into these is great. You won't see questions like these in, for example, a Cloud Guru or freecodecamp.org. You just won't see them. So the kind of answers, right? The type of questions and the type of explanation that this gives you is very good, very good, and you guys should definitely use it. So, for example, in this question, right, just question one, you can read over the question. You can choose two, and after that, if you get it right or wrong, that's fine. It will tell you why certain answers are incorrect, and which is very important because in the exam you want to be able to eliminate answers right away, especially if you take a very long time and you suck at reading like me. 4-line questions and then the answers, and then if you don't know what one of these is, you're screwed. So it's very important to know all the services. So what this does, it gives you incorrect, you learn why that answer is incorrect, and you're able to really cruise through the questions a lot faster. As well, here you also get references to the AWS white pages for the very specific question, and they also give you a cheat sheet, which we'll go here. I don't think they'll kill me for it, but you'll go through here, and the information that they give you is amazing. Like, you will learn so much just from little things, and you just like find certain things that you're failing at. So okay, AMI, they'll give you graphs, etc. So you'll be able to actually go through these and learn a lot. You don't just want to learn the answer. You don't want to memorize this, even though very likely you will, because you'll probably take the exam a couple times. But ideally, you want to know why each answer is wrong. And that will help you so much, because you will know what every specific answer does, and you will know that, hey, I'm trying to do this. Amazon RDS will not resolve that. And you will automatically remove it. Oh, it's EC2? Okay, what's RDS doing there? Boom. Okay, you already went down to 3. And depending on how long you take to read these long questions, because the exam does have 4-line questions and sometimes very long answers, you'll be able to kind of eliminate and help you a lot. The main course that I used to tackle this certificate, because I was a very newbie, and I like to know very in depth on what I'm learning, just because, especially if it's the first one, like I'll just do that myself. Like I'll kill myself. I want to know as much as I can at first, just so everything else kind of like falls into place in the foundation that I have. I don't know if I'm very being clear, but so the course that I took was from Adrian. He was with Linux Academy. He left them, and then he is starting his own thing. And I loved his course. It wasn't very PowerPoint like Stefan does. Nothing against Stefan. I don't like PowerPoints and then somebody to read them for me. Kind of, it just reminds me of high school or college. It just bores me. But I can get to the material, and he's perfect, and I learned a crap load from Stefan because I used him for my sysops. So, but for solutions architect, I felt like without Adrian, I wouldn't have been able to understand and grasp the concepts of some of these things. So, for example, the demos are long, and he will go through, and you'll see this. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but the demos are long, and it will go one by one, and it will show you specifically how he goes through all the steps for every specific service, if possible. And for example, here Lambda Edge use cases. You'll see he doesn't do the PowerPoint, the whole full list, anything. He uses. I'm a very visual learner, so this helped a bunch. And the AWS does have its maps and stuff, but I felt like Adrian's graphs, or the way he taught this to me, just made so much sense in my head, and I could visualize all these services doing literally anything by the time I ended this course. He also repeats a lot of the stuff he says at the beginning, at the end, and throughout the whole course and the demos that you do right after. Which for me, that repetition was very important. And at the end of the day, when I was doing some of the questions, I did not have to review too much of the information. I didn't have to study it too much. The visual aspect of the service was already in my head, so I could connect dots in the multiple services in my head, and he helped me a bunch. Other than that, I think that was it. So I think you guys should focus a lot on most of the services. Try to know as much as you can. Do some hands-on because it definitely helps. And if you do plan to make this a career, I strongly suggest you to do the more hands-on, and then leave it, come back the next day, and try to do the same thing on your own. And if you do need help, go back, right? But if you can create a launch configuration and then create your EC2s, put your minimum instance, your maximum instance, see your instances come up, make sure that they pass the health checks and understand what all of that, and then go to CloudWatch, then look at the logs of what really happened, and then vent it to CloudFormation, right, and see what the templates do, how they do it, and then mix the ASG security groups, whatever, and you just put in the template, and then how CloudFormation creates those. It's pretty awesome. And then you, of course you put in the Lambda functions, and then the different parameters. I'm just spitting out right now services, but it is very cool to learn how the services intertwine with each other, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard. If you have some networking background and stuff, it makes it a lot easier, especially with VPCs, NACLs, I think NACLs, that's what they call it, security groups, internet gateway, NAT gateway, and what they do, private, public subnet, the elastic IPs, and all that stuff. Like, that will be a lot easier if you have some networking background. If you don't, that's fine. Adrian, for me, he there's some courses that he like literally goes from like 0 to 100. So he'll teach you how to create CIDR blocks, like literally super basic stuff that it's kind of cool that you're reviewed or you're brought into it from ground zero, right, from the fundamentals, and then he teaches you all the way up. Honestly, I love the guy's course. This is not sponsored by Adrian, but he helped me a lot to visualize some things that it even helped me on my SysOps exam. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. Brand new channel, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'll probably make the SysOps video a little bit later today. But yeah. So good luck. Bye.